Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome GBTA President, Christle Johnson.
Hello, and happy Wednesday. I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate the new incoming board members. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to work with you. I think we're going to have a fantastic board, and hopefully we will continue to make improvements. Our door is always open for you to give us thoughts, feedback, suggestions. We just want to continue to make things better for you, the members. So congratulations to each of you. I'd also like to take a moment to thank two of our outgoing board members, and I don't even know exactly where they're sitting, but Cindy Shoemate and Gus Vonderheide, their terms have come to an end, so I'd like to thank them very much for their service. They've done a phenomenal job. I've really appreciated all of their insight. And then lastly, last year's elections were a little bit different just due to the change in the format, et cetera. And so there were two board members that were outgoing that we didn't get to publicly thank last year. So I would like to say a special thank you to Mark Ziegler, who served as our vice president last year, and for William, AKA Billy Boss, who served as our allied representative. So thank you to all of you. Again, I couldn't do what I do without the support of the board, so thank you. Now moving on, I just want to talk a little bit about an important topic. The travel industry has a long tradition of helping others. We fly in food and supplies to devastated areas. We help with that. We are capping airfares for travelers who are trying to get out of a location before there's a weather impact. Provide hotel rooms for relief workers assisting with disasters, and we donate money and time to various causes as our members are in need and the industry itself is in need. But there's another issue that we in the travel industry need to address more actively, and that is child exploitation. You may not know this, but each year, 2 million children are victims of human trafficking. 2 million children. This is a $150 billion industry. $150 billion industry. Sorry, I said that backwards. But these children, they're torn away from their families. They're taken to who knows where, and then they are exploited in ways that are just too horrible to discuss. So needless to say, the long-term ramifications for these children are awful. And we are in a unique position with our industry to help this problem because it's our industry's infrastructure that the traffickers use as their tools to carry out their activities. And the travel infrastructure is massive. We all know it includes hotels, planes, car rentals, ride sharing, anyone and everyone on the front lines of travel, including our travelers. So we can all play a role in helping to reduce this and ultimately eliminating this horrible human crisis. As travel buyers and suppliers, we can advocate for our companies to acknowledge that the problem openly and work with experts to provide training to their employees about the problem and the ways of identifying traffickers. What are the telltale signs of trafficking? How can we spot these situations? So one example I'd like to share real quick is there was a traveler, and this was shared with me this week after one of my sessions. There was a traveler who was on a plane who overheard a young girl talking. And she was talking about how she had met this NFL player on Facebook, and he's flying her out to wherever they were going, let's just say LA, and he's bought her a first-class ticket, and she's got ground transportation waiting for her. It's going to pick her up and take her to go meet him, and they're going to live happily ever after. Unfortunately, although the traveler felt like something wasn't right in what she was speaking about and that something sounded a little off, they didn't say anything at the time. And there's many airlines and hotels are already working to combat trafficking, and they've developed and instituted training for their employees. So if the guy had said something and gone with his gut, then perhaps maybe this girl, hopefully she's safe. I'm hoping she's safe and that nothing's happened to her and that it is a for real story. If it doesn't sound right, then just go with your gut. But shortly, we're going to hear from Allison Taylor with American Airlines, and she's going to share some examples of how their employee training and awareness has made a difference. And again, bottom line, if you see it, if you hear it, and it doesn't seem right, listen to your gut, tell someone in charge, or call the authorities so that we can get these individuals the help that they need. 3 years ago, GBTA began partnering with ECPAT. It's an international organization whose mission is to end child exploitation. And I'm very proud of our efforts to combat human trafficking, and I can't wait to see how this grows and how we're able to share stories with our coworkers, et cetera, and just protect those that are out there. On Sunday morning, we had a 5K awareness walk run. It was made possible by American Airlines, and it was to raise money for ECPAT. One of our education sessions was on what travel managers can do to stop human trafficking. So if you didn't get a chance to attend that session, I highly recommend that you go online and you watch it on demand so that you can get some additional information. And it doesn't just apply to travel managers. If you're a buyer, same thing, you will definitely get something out of that session. And we sponsored a wall out in the common area where many of you signed your name and dropped the flower thing in support of the need for action to end child trafficking and exploitation. And then we also had the kiosk on the expo show floor where people were able to make donations, all of which those will go directly to ECPAT to help. So child trafficking, it's a very complicated, difficult problem to solve, but that should not sway us away from addressing it. It needs to be talked about, we need to educate ourselves, and we need to empower not only ourselves, but our travelers and our road warriors who are out there who can also bring awareness and help protect these victims. And if we save even just one child, it will be worth the effort. So here to talk a little bit more about ECPAT's work is Michelle Gelbert, Director of Private Sector Engagement for ECPAT USA. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Wow. So on behalf of ECPAT USA, I am so honored to accept the donation. I want to thank GBTA, Christle specifically, American Airlines for sponsoring the 5K, and every single person who donated and participated in the event. These donations matter. These donations will change lives. They will help ECPAT USA's mission to protect every child's basic right to grow up free from exploitation and trafficking. The efforts made by GBTA members matter to children like Jessica. Jessica is a girl who was tricked by a trafficker. He sent Instagram messages to 100 girls, telling them that they could be models. Jessica had a bad week. Her friends made fun of her haircut. She responded to his message. Her trafficker posted ads with her photos on online classified websites. You see, the internet has become a marketplace where children are sold. Jessica was sold day after day. We at ECPAT USA went to the source of the problem by passing a law signed this year. Children like Jessica can now sue the websites that allow them to be sold. These donations matter. They matter to children like Kennedy, a girl from Silver Spring, Maryland, whose parents were fighting a lot. She walked a little slower than her friends when she was out at the mall. Her eyes were constantly searching for something, someone. Her traffickers saw her and noticed her stop to look at a Pandora stand. He told her it would look nice on her. When the girls went to lunch, he was sitting at the next table, and he started a conversation. He paid special attention to Kennedy, gave her compliments, quick little compliments. He met her searching eyes. Her friends giggled because they thought he was cute. They started hanging out, and her friends saw less and less of her. They noticed she didn't laugh as much. She didn't laugh the same way. She posted inappropriate things online. The thing is, Kennedy actually went to school every single day. And that's why ECPAT USA works in schools to educate youth. We ensure that children like Kennedy and their friends know how to report trafficking if it's happening to their peers. And in the best cases, we've heard of kids who stop traffickers from approaching them altogether. I'm telling you, these donations matter. Your work, your donations help ECPAT USA develop groundbreaking research reports, provide technical assistance so that companies can get involved. I cannot tell you how many people have come up to me to tell me a different story or situation that they've seen while traveling. People like George, who came up to me after a training, and he said that he saw a boy who was trying to check into the hotel where he worked. The boy didn't have luggage, he was a little bit disheveled, definitely underage. Not super young though. George didn't have the same mindset that he has today. He thought the boy was going to do things in the hotel that they didn't want to happen at the hotel. He didn't know what to do, so he made the child leave. George told me he will never forget that child's face. That child's face has haunted him since then. But now he's proud that he works for a company that's teaching him how to look at people differently. Every time you support ECPAT USA, your donations matter. Your donations and your conversations. Yes, the donation is so important. It helps us protect kids who have similar stories to Jessica, Kennedy, and the child whose name we'll never know. But that's not all we need. I do not want this momentum to stop here. We have resources and support for all of you on our website, and we have policy language that can signal to your associates the importance of reporting suspicious activity, training so that they know what to do, and RFP language to inform suppliers about human trafficking. So do not stop here. Do not stop when you get home either. If we all make a commitment and take a stand, we will leave this conference knowing that we can change lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, for sharing that information with us. We in the travel industry, we want to help with your mission. So on behalf of GBTA and American Airlines, please welcome Allison Taylor and Bart Serene to present a check to ECPAT for $20,000.
Wow.
My challenge to all of you next year is come out for the 5K walk run or stop by the kiosk, make a difference. If you just save 30 cents a day or 1 Starbucks a week, you can write a fairly nice check. Hint, hint. I'm going to challenge all those executives out there, too, to think about donating to a great cause. But congratulations.
Thank you.
We're very excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to the difference that we as an organization will be able to make. So thank you.
Oh, for the
party.
I'm taking this?